Hey, Mr. Fitz here. Hope you're going well. This short little video is going to show you the basic process to build a little name tag. Big shouts to Keno from Hallett Cove, who was the original author of this document. So thanks for the help with that. I always suggest to have a go at working through this worksheet. This shows you step by step, but this video hopefully is useful as well. So let's start. We're going to use Inventor. You can open this one up full screen. Always start a new file by clicking on the new, this little sheet here. Now be careful here when we create our first part. Always click on the little down arrow here and make sure we click on metric. Then I would like you guys to use a standard millimeter part and go create. This should load up our workspace. Yours should look pretty similar to mine, although our colors might be a little bit different in here. A few bits for navigation. On the right here is a little cube. You can click on these little faces of the cube and that will rotate your view. But to start, as we start every model in CAD, we're going to start with a sketch. So click on this sketch here. This is a 2D sketch. The first thing that happens when you do this, it brings up your planes. So every model will have these planes in it. And now you need to choose a plane to create your sketch on. I'm going to choose this plane here. But it doesn't really matter if you choose the others. This is just the way I'm going to do it. So click on the plane. You'll see the view will now rotate and you're looking straight at the plane or the face that you're going to draw on. So the first shape we're going to build for our key tag is going to be called an ellipse, which is a little bit like a circle. Over here is a down arrow. You can see it, in fact, while you're doing this, you can see all the different shapes and lines you can draw in the program. I click below circle here is a shape called an ellipse. It's a bit like an oval or a squash circle. To draw your ellipse, what we need to do is come to the center point of your model. You can see it tries to snap onto there. This is good practice. Every time you do a sketch, it's good to start at this point. So I'm going to click on here once. Now, if I move my mouse out, you'll see it's going to try and draw a line. Now, I'd like you to try to draw your line horizontal. So let's bring it down. You can see here, this little icon will pop up. Click once more here. One click. Now just move your mouse up and you'll see, whoop, I start to build the height of my ellipse. So you can tweak that how you want it. When we draw an inventor, it's always good to work on drawing the shape first. Don't worry about the size of it, worry about the shape. Next, once you've got the shape here, you can press escape on your keyboard as a shortcut, so ESC. That will get you out of the ellipse tool so you don't keep drawing more. If you do keep drawing more or you've made a mistake, you can press on the back icon up here. Or another alternative is to click on what you've drawn that you do not want. So pre-click on this one, and there is a key on your keyboard which is called DEL for delete. Try and find it and press delete, and that will delete it. I'll just go back. That's not what I wanted to do. Next thing we must do, according to the worksheet, is dimension our ellipse. So this is hopefully quite easy. Click on dimension. Now, if you click on your ellipse anywhere, let's click here. You notice I can drag. So click once, drag your mouse up. You can see I can measure the width or half of my width of my ellipse, or to the right, I can measure the height. So if I click here once, the width of my ellipse is going to be 15 millimeters. So type 15. You don't have to type mm. Press enter and do this once more. I'm going to measure the height of my ellipse. Click out here, and this is going to be 10. Sorry, made a mistake here. 10 and 30. So the beauty is these you can change. If you double click on this, you can change it. 30 and enter. You'll see it's bigger. To zoom in and out in a sketch, you can use the little rolly wheel on your mouse. Or if you get lost, you can also just press back on top over here. Whoops. I'm trying to do that one. Press on top and it will bring it back into view. Oops, sorry. You can rotate your view. There we go, back to there. All right, great. Now, one last thing to add into our sketch here, I'm going to add my circle. So change to the ellipse, I'm going to add a circle. This is going to be the cutout of your key tag. Now, on circle, come down to this horizontal line here. You can see that the x coordinate is going to be 0. Let's try and draw this along here. So click once to draw the center of the circle, drag it up to draw the shape. Don't worry about the size just yet, just get it to look about right. Cool. Escape to get out of the circle tool. Next, I need to give my circle a size. Let's add a dimension. Just click on the circle itself and it will pop up with a measurement. Click once more to place it and set the size. This is 5, which is the diameter. One more measurement we need to know how far from the center of here to the center of here. So within the dimension tool, with this still clicked, if I click the center of my circle once, then click the center here, it will build a dimension between it. Place this up here and make this one 24. Cool. That should look right. 24, 5, those measurements are on the worksheet. Cool. Now what we can do here, we can finish our sketch to go out of it. Alternatively, we can come across here to 3D model, and we're going to turn this shape into our Keytag profile. So click on extrude. You may need to click on, so this is the extrude window. You need to click on a profile, which means the area I'm going to extrude, which is that one. You see it pops it up. You can grab that little handle and move it either way if you'd like to. In this toolbox, you can click on these as little shortcuts to change the direction. And importantly, we set the height of it. Let's make this 2.5. Sorry, Kino, yours is 2. I'm going to make mine a bit thicker, 2.5. Go OK. Cool, that's the basic shape. Now, a few little things in Inventor here. If you want to rotate your view, there's usually a little home icon that allows you to rotate it back to square. Another shortcut, if you press the Shift key on the keyboard and press this middle mouse button, it's a little bit tricky, this one, you can rotate your view. And if something goes wrong, you can click back on here to bring it back into shape. Cool. All right, next step, we're going to do another sketch. We're going to cut out. This bit's a little bit trickier, but follow with me. Next, we can do a sketch. I'm going to choose a face to sketch on. So I'm going to sketch now on this face. You'll notice that my planes have now disappeared. If they are still there and annoying, you can turn them off inside there. Sketch, here we go. Now I'm looking at this on a bit of a funny angle. I can, if I'd like, just rotate my view. So if I press the Shift key, I can spin it a little bit so it looks like so. All right, next little trick. What we're going to do is we are going to create what's called an offset in my sketch. Now I've got this line here, the outside, I'm going to do an offset. So click offset and click the outside shape. Oh, I can't choose it yet. That's because the outside shape is not yet in my sketch. So there is a little icon here called project geometry. This adds in an existing shape into your sketch. Project geometry. Click on the outside. And I'm going to also add in my circle. That's going to add those two into my sketch. Now I can do an offset. So press escape to go out of there. Offset. Now I can choose this outside shape. As soon as I click it, you can see what's happening. It's going to build an offset line. For now, I'm just going to bring it in, place it there, and I'm going to dimension it. So after you've placed it, click on dimension. What I can do here is I can click on this shape and then click on the outside shape. No, it didn't quite work, did it? I can just, sorry, I was going to try to do an offset. Click on dimension, click on this arc. We're going to add this dimension back in. 28 is the size of that one. And from here, it is 8. So that comes off the worksheet, 28 and 8. Now I can also offset my circle if I want to, or I can just draw another circle. So circle, click the center of this one, and I think this one is going to be 8 millimeters there. Is it 8 or 10? Let's make it 10. Yep, I like that, bit thicker. All right, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm actually looking to cut out the inside of this away from my design. So a fast way to do this is to use what's called the trim tool. All these little tools here allow me to modify my sketch. So trim is a nice, neat way to cut away the things I don't need. So if I go over to this circle, I can click on that and you can see, gives you a preview. It cuts it back to its nearest intersect. I can cut that one as well, and I'm left with that shape there. Awesome. That's what I'm after. I want that profile. So important thing in a sketch is you need a basic single profile to extrude. Now that's done, I'm going to go 3D model, extrude. Now in this instance, I'm going to grab that to extrude. I'm just going to rotate my model a little bit. In the first instance, you extruded a solid. What we can do in this extrude box is to change it from a solid to a cut. So if you click on that, it'll cut into the part. Now 2.5 is too far. I'm going to make mine 0.5 to cut in a little bit in here. Go, okay. Excellent. That's cut the inside out. That's looking pretty nice for a key tag. The next step, I don't like these sharp corners inside here, so I'm going to use a fillet to round these. I'm going to make this a 1mm fillet. So a fillet is a tool to round corners. Now, I actually need to get into these corners. So this is a good little challenge of rotating your model. There is a orbit feature on the side here, so you can click on the orbit as well. So with your mouse, you can rotate and press escape to get out of that. Zoom in with your mouse. Now I'm going to choose that inside corner and that inside corner, and then go OK. Excellent. Almost there. Next thing, most important thing is your name. So in this instance, let's go sketch. Now I'm going to sketch on this face here. Now you're on the inside there. Great. Now text. This is a really useful tool in here. Click on text. To draw some text, you need to start by drawing a rectangle. So inside here, draw a rectangle. Up comes the dialog box and you can put in your name. So I'm going to write Mr. Fitz for that one. Now, before you press OK here, in fact, you can just go OK to that one. You'll see it will pop up like so. Now, a few little challenges here. You can see that mine's come out on a 90-degree angle. That's actually good for demonstration. If I want to rotate this back to straight, I need to click on rotate. So rotate, click on my text to select it. The next thing I need to choose is a center point. So it needs a point to rotate around. Doesn't matter where you click this one, but click on select. I'm going to click here and you can see if I move my mouse, it's going to rotate it around. So I can just type in 90 for rotation, 90 degrees, and go apply. Done. Cool. All right. Looking better. Not quite how I want this. I want this to stretch out. So you can drag the box that it's built in. So drag the box out. To change the font and the style, the size, double click on it, and you must highlight the text. If you don't highlight it, it won't change it. You can change the size. Let's make this one 6. Let's make it double and find a cool font. There are lots of cool fonts in here. I'm going to go stencil and OK. Here we go, Mr. Fitz. Like that, pretty good size. I can make it bigger if I want. Double click, highlight, change, OK. Now, one last thing here. Take note that some fonts don't extrude. So if you're having trouble with this next step, my tip is to change the font. Not all the fonts are happy with extruding. Once that looks good, go 3D model, extrude. Now, in this case, you might need to click on the text. And you can see here, it asks to extrude. Now, this is important here. You need to make sure you get the right direction. So I'm going to extrude up as a solid. I'm going to make sure that's a solid. So that's a solid there. And I'm going to make this 0.5 millimeters high and go OK. And there we go. It joins to it. There we go, folks. That's a basic key tag. At any point in time, I can show you in class any of these features here. You can right click with your mouse, with your right mouse button, and go edit sketch or edit feature, which will take you back into change your model if you need to fix it. Don't forget to save your work. If you get up to that step, you've done really, really well, and Mr. Fitz will show you some more advanced features. Thanks, everyone.